If you're renting in Yakima right now, there's a good chance you've thought about buying a home at least once. Maybe you've looked online, maybe you've driven past a few homes and wondered what they cost. Maybe you've even convinced yourself that homeownership is completely out of reach. That last one is one I probably hear the most often. People tell me, I don't have enough money saved. My credit probably isn't good enough. I'll do it someday. And what surprises them is that many of them are actually closer than they think. I've had buyers come to me expecting to need years to prepare and discover that they are actually ready right now. I've had others who need 6 months, and I've had some who needed a year, but almost every single one of them was closer than what they believed. So if you're currently renting in Yakima and wondering what it would take to become a homeowner, this video is for you. Today, I'm going to walk you through the exact steps I recommend for first-time homebuyers who want to stop renting and start building a path toward homeownership. So let's jump in. Step one, and this surprises people. Most renters think that the first step is actually saving money. It's actually not. The first step is talking to a lender. The reason is simple. You don't know what you're saving for yet. And a lot of people assume that they need 20% down. And on a $350,000 home, that's $70,000. No wonder people are feeling discouraged. But depending on your situation, loan type, and available assistance programs, your actual cash needed could be dramatically different, maybe even zero. Because you may qualify for down payment assistance, you may qualify for grants, you may even qualify for closing cost assistance programs. You may discover that what you've already saved is enough. Or you may discover you need a specific savings target that you can start working towards. But the point is this: don't spend the next 2 years trying to save an amount that may not even be necessary. Talk to a lender first and get the facts, then build a plan. One of my favorite things to do is introduce people to lenders who can help them create that roadmap. Sometimes the answer is that you're ready, and sometimes the answer is let's work on this for 6 months. And both answers are valuable to you. Now, step two, just because a lender says that you can qualify for something doesn't mean you should buy at that number. Now, this is where buyers get themselves into trouble. I encourage buyers to think about comfort, not maximum approval amount. A rule of thumb I like is keeping your housing payment around 25% of your take-home income. Some people are comfortable closer to 30% if they're in a different part of the financial journey. It does depend on your situation. It depends on how stable your income is, and it depends on your specific financial goals. So here is something that I tell buyers all of the time. Rent is the most you'll pay each month. A mortgage is the least you'll pay each month. When you are renting, your landlord is responsible for the roof, the water heater, the furnace, the plumbing, etc., 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 right? And when you own, those things become your responsibility. Now, that's not a reason not to buy, it's just something to plan for. So before you start shopping, decide what payment feels comfortable for your life when you take that into consideration. Step three, and here is something you will not hear every realtor say, and that is that buying is not always the right choice. Renting is not throwing money away. Renting is paying for a service. So step three is making sure you're planning to stay. There are absolutely times when renting makes more sense. If you're changing careers, if you're planning to relocate, if your job is unstable, if you're likely to move in the next couple of years, renting might just be the smartest thing that you can do. The buyers I see succeed the most are the ones that are planning to stay at least 5 to 7 years. Why is that? Because it takes time. You need time to build equity. You need time to allow appreciation to happen. And you need time to preemptively recover the costs associated with eventually selling. If you're buying on a 5 to 7 year horizon, temporary market fluctuations become a lot less scary. You're giving yourself time to let homeownership work for you. Step four, and this goes around with step one with talking to a lender, and that's stop guessing about your credit. This is a really big mistake that I see people make. They disqualify themselves before anyone else does. I can't tell you how many times someone has said, my credit is probably too bad. Then they meet with a lender and discover that they're actually ready. or that they're 30 days away, or they just need to pay off one minor collection account, or they just need to fix like one reporting issue. Credit Karma is not enough. Google is not enough. Guessing is not enough. You need to let the lender actually look. Mortgage lenders do this every day. They know exactly what matters, and they know exactly what doesn't move the needle. They know what can be fixed, and they know how to help you create a plan. And some of these fixes, they even have really easy paths to fix it because they've been through this process so many times before. I have family members who have avoided checking their credit because they are afraid of what they might find. And I get that. I understand. It's emotional. But you can't fix what you don't know. And I promise you this, your lender and your realtor have seen everything. There is no judgment. Our job is simply to help you create a path forward. Step 5, start acting like a homeowner. This is where people think I'm a little weird, but genuinely, I really believe that this matters. Start preparing now. Start living like the move is eventually going to happen. Start decluttering. Start simplifying. Start donating things. Start selling some things. Start packing items you don't use and start organizing. You may even be able to collect a little money. You'll have less to move, which will cost you less money. You might even be able to make a little money to help you with the move. And when the time comes to move, you'll be grateful you started early and you're already packed and ready to go for the biggest things. And honestly, it really helps mentally. It makes the goal feel real. So let me tell you a little bit about our story. When Josh and I bought this home, we had 2 lists. We had a list of our needs and we had a list of our wants. We knew we needed to get all the needs covered and we were hoping to get as many of our wants as possible. But the needs list was the only thing we were concerned on when we were purchasing this home. The wants were dream items, things we hope to have someday. Maybe someday we'll have something with all of these things on here. And for years, we kept those lists. And what's funny is that when we found our current home that I'm standing in right now, it checked almost every box, including most of the dream boxes. One of our needs was finding a home that could generate income. And we had absolutely no expectation that we'd find our dream home and a house hack opportunity at the same time. But that's exactly what happened. And today, we now have a property that fits our lifestyle, our future goals, and our finances. Not because we got lucky, although it was a factor. There was a lot of luck involved, but we got intentional. We knew what we wanted. We knew what we needed. We knew what we valued. So when the opportunity appeared, we recognized it and we moved on it immediately. The next step is I want you to create your vision. I know this sounds less practical than credit scores and savings accounts, but I think it matters. I think maybe even more than the rest of it. I want you to create a vision board, maybe a Pinterest board if you don't want to do the whole vision board thing. But I actually really recommend a vision board. Like you do it in Canva and then print it out. Write down your wants and needs on a list. Talk about these things as a family. What does the next chapter look like for your family unit? What neighborhood? What style of home? What matters most to your family unit? Is it a big kitchen? Is it a garage? Is it a yard for the dog that you hope to get when you purchase your home? Do you need a home office that you don't have now? On our list when we were purchasing this home is we needed another unit. So we were looking for duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, houses with ADUs, houses with basement apartments, anything like that. Get specific. The clearer the goal becomes, the easier it is to stay motivated. Saving $500 or $1,000 a month feels different when you know exactly what you're working toward. And pro tip here, put your vision board and your wants and needs list next to a savings tracker. So that way you have a visual representation and everybody in your family unit can get excited about it. Now this leads me to a segue here, and that's mistakes to avoid if you're planning to buy a home. I really need you to avoid these mistakes. Don't open new credit cards. Don't finance furniture. Don't quit your job. Don't buy a vehicle. Don't switch careers. Don't move large amounts of money between accounts. And don't spend the money that you've saved to purchase a home. Your lender has built your approval around your current financial picture, so keep that picture stable until after closing. Once you get the keys, then we can talk about a new couch. Now, I want to go over next what happens when you reach out to me. I have a client questionnaire in my bio. If you want to work with me, you could DM me, you could email me, you can call me. And I want you to encourage to do that because a lot of people think that they're wasting my time if they're not ready today. And I promise you, you're not. Some of my favorite clients are people who are 6 months to a year away because we get to spend some time together building a plan and figuring out how to make it work when the time is right. We'll sit down, we'll talk about your goals, we'll talk about your timeline, we'll talk about your future, we'll talk about what you want your life to look like. Then I'll connect you with a local lender. And if you're ready, we start shopping. And if you're not ready, we will build you a roadmap. Either way, you will leave those appointments with clarity. And that's the biggest thing that most buyers are missing. Not money, not houses, clarity. To sum everything up, if you're renting in Yakima and wondering whether homeownership is possible for you, the first step is not saving more money. The first step is getting information. You might be ready today, and you might be 6 months away. You might be a year away, but you never know until you start. And if you'd like help building that plan, please reach out. I'd be happy to connect you with a trusted local lender, answer your questions, and help you figure out whether buying even makes sense for your situation. And if you're not ready yet, that's okay too. Let's create a roadmap so you know exactly what comes next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And if you want to stick around, YouTube actually thinks you might like this video here. See you in the next one.